From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Well, if you're looking for the most accurate, reliable forecast, you've come to the right place here at Weather NorCal. However, there is a little bit of fun like to do outside of weather as well, such as Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. We hang out with the animals, hang out with Sharon Clay. We learn something new. You can go to weathernorcal.com, Animal Family, and you can watch all of the episodes there. You can also watch the NorCal Ag Report on weathernorcal.com. Just go to the Ag Report section. Also, you can watch all the episodes there. You can access both of these, by the way, from the free Weather NorCal app. And by the way, you've come to the right place if you're looking for a detailed forecast. However, if you're in a hurry, you don't have time to watch the forecast, in about a minute, I do what's called Kruger's Quickcast, and I get you your weather information for the day to help get you out the door so you can be prepared. In about a minute, you can watch it very quickly, and you are good to go. Go to weathernorcal.com, forecast videos. It's also available on the free Weather NorCal app. All right, here is a look at your weather headlines. It's going to be a hot start to the week. We're back in the triple digits, folks, and it's only going to get hotter over the next few days. Mainly sunny and dry, including the mountains. Very active in some of those higher elevations over the weekend, and saw some pretty strong thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms. It was quite active in some areas here, but we're quieting things down in that department. Not only today, but really for the rest of the week. Not as hot near the end of the week, with more pleasant temperatures for your Father's Day weekend. It's still warm, still the typical heat this time of the year, but at least it's breaking well away actually from the triple digits. You'll see that in the 7-day outlook here in a second, but let's start off by taking a look at your neighborhood forecast at a glance for today. It's warmer, 80s, 90s for the higher elevations, over 100 degrees for most of us in the valley. But of course, yes, go to the coast, it'll cool off there, low 60s. Now the winds, no major wind event. It's going to be a little breezy at times. The wind's dying down going into tomorrow morning. There you can see as we go at 6 a.m., fairly calm winds even for the coast. But it looks like we're going to see those winds amplify a bit here for the valley tomorrow afternoon. So just be aware of that, because what that's going to do is elevate that fire danger. So when you combine the winds, not to mention the low humidity, take a look at the humidity out there in the valley today. We're down into the single digits. And yes, there's some minor improvement on Tuesday. But again, the problem is this is still very dry. And with those winds fairly strong, the fire weather risk will be increasing. Today, we're in that moderate to high range. You kind of see those yellows and oranges in there. But look at this as we go into Tuesday. We're getting more within that high range. In fact, you're getting really those deep oranges. You're getting in the high to even very high range with those gusty winds, hotter temperatures, and of course those very dry conditions. So the combination of all three is really starting to elevate that fire danger. Now we do have these storm systems riding to our north, but unfortunately we've got high pressure that will kind of win out, let's just put it that way, for the next couple of days. But it won't for long. All right, and when I say win out, you can see this little ridge of high pressure. We've also got the heat that we saw last week. That's still hanging around. In fact, it's going to try to make its presence known a little bit more as we do go into your Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, we do have what we call a broad ridge of high pressure, but it's a weak one. You see how, again, it's not very amplified, but the heat from the west and from the east is going to kind of help to kind of come into our area. Now, you see this right here. This is a little bit more mild air, not quite as hot. And this is what's really helping to kind of break that down as well. But on top of that, we've got this cooler air that's been riding over the ridge. This cooler air will also be riding over the ridge and prevent it from building any stronger. In fact, toward the end of the week and into this upcoming weekend, that cooler air is going to be making its way here. So that's moving on out, but then another little pocket of air kind of rotates around that. And that's coming in by your Father's Day weekend and into early next week, with temperatures dropping back down close to normal for this time of the year. In fact, we take a look at the temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. We're kind of more in that warmer than to near normal category here. So yes, it looks like we're breaking away from that heat that we are going to see here. But that being said, there is an excessive heat warning. That's what that pink is right here. That's for northern Sacramento Valley and the surrounding foothills. So highs in the foothills and really mainly the higher elevations in the mid to upper 90s, right? But we're going to be over 100 degrees here for the valley. Now, the lows are also something we look at with these heat alerts, because when we don't see much relief overnight, that's a contributing factor to how dangerous that heat can be. Because when we're only dropping down into the upper 60s, probably more like that's going to be the foothills. But in the valley, once again, low 70s on average for those overnight lows, and that's not good because you don't see much of that relief. So you can see here, when we look at the heat risk, it's mainly for today within that orange category. That is in that moderate category. It affects most people that are sensitive to the heat. But going into tomorrow, we're seeing a lot more red on the map here, and that is going to be in that major category. So again, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. You've got to stay hydrated, and you've got to take those breaks. Now, the good news is by Wednesday, we're starting to see the heat begin to back off. It backs off even more Thursday. And it looks like as we go into Friday, it backs off even more. A lot more yellows on the map indicating that minor heat risk. So conditions are improving after, say, tomorrow and Wednesday, especially as we get to the end of the week and this upcoming weekend. Here's a look at Futurecast, and you can see, yeah, it looks like a few clouds kind of still lingering in the area, but look at this. No more thunderstorms are in the forecast, just some of those afternoon puffy cumulus clouds, but nothing really towering, really, is what it looks like. Now, tomorrow morning, there may be some patchy fog along the coast, even some of those inland valleys. Looks like maybe even around Garberville, for example. But as you head into Fortuna, out towards Blue Lake, maybe some of that fog kind of coming in, but then it will start to retreat as we go into, of course, the morning hours and Tuesday afternoon. But still some fog kind of maybe lingering Tuesday afternoon, but plenty of sunshine elsewhere. And then looks like, again, more fog going into your Wednesday morning, probably retreating by Wednesday afternoon. Here's a look at your wave heights, and you can see as we take you into your Tuesday, actually, the wave heights may begin to drop a little bit here, but then increase again going into Tuesday afternoon. So we look at the marine forecast, and you see those winds from the north at about 10 to 15 knots, but there's a small craft advisory out there, so you need to be aware of that. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast, mainly in the 80s and 90s for your daytime highs. So for Weaverville, Hayfork, for example, you're mainly going to be the upper 90s through Thursday, but back down to the 80s by the end of the week and this weekend. So yeah, some more relief for your Father's Day weekend. Look for the North Coast here. There, of course, you can see temperatures. Yeah, of course, just kind of staying mainly in the low 60s for the next 7 days there. Inland areas also fairly warm temperatures, upper 80s at least through Thursday, but then we see that dip in the temperatures by Friday and through the weekend. How about Siskiyou County? Well, temperatures there in the 80s, even some 90s. Some of the warmer spots like Happy Camp at 95, 90 in Wairika, 87 for Weed. Look at Mount Shasta City, a high of about 90 degrees today, and we keep in those low 90s over the next several days. Modoc County also eventually up to the low 90s for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but then we see that nice little dip in the temperatures by the end of the week, and especially this upcoming weekend. And for the Eastern Mountains, yeah, Susanville, you're up to about 92 degrees today, 93 in Shingletown, Paradise, you're going to be pretty warm too. Now, not quite the triple digits, but yeah, it's getting warmer. There you can see mid upper 90s here for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but there's that dip in the temperatures over the weekend. How about your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor? Yes, we're back up over 100 degrees for most of us, peaking around Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we start to see the temperatures dip. Now, the average high this time of the year in the Valley is approximately 89, 90 degrees, depending on where you are. So we're still going to be above that for this upcoming weekend, but again, at least we're breaking away from those triple digits. Looking at your 7-day outlook for Redding, yeah, about 106 degrees or so for your Tuesday, Wednesday. That's the peak of the heat wave. Back below, I mean, quite a drop from Wednesday to Thursday. So that, again, things getting a bit more pleasant, if you will, not as hot, let's put it that way. And then low 90s throughout your Father's Day weekend.